Hi, my name is Samuel Ramani. I'm a tutor at the University of Oxford in Politics and International Relations. I'm the author of Spotlight on Sudan, Part 2, on Sudan's foreign policy priorities. So in this publication, I really explore the impact of the April 2019 coup and the subsequent long transition of democracy over the past 3 years on Sudan's relationships with a variety of international actors. Specifically, I look at Sudan's relationship with major powers in the Middle East, such as Turkey, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE, as well as their traditional partnerships with Russia and China. Moreover, I also explore Sudan's new post-transition partnerships, which include the normalization with Israel, their outreaches to the United States and the European Union, and I lay out some important policy prescriptions for Sudan's future, particularly with regards to inspiring investor confidence in the economy and in repairing the civil-military relations divide in Sudan. Sudan is really trying to maximize as many partnerships as possible. This is very much a multi-vector foreign policy that is in many ways a continuity of their foreign policy under Omar al-Bashir, except now adding the Western countries and Israel as additional brackets. I would say that Sudan is focused on securing international investment, in particular in its agriculture, construction sectors, debt relief, as well as international re-entering the international arms market, particularly via Russia through the construction of a base with them. Sudan is also seeking external diplomatic assistance to help it in some of its regional security crises in the Red Sea, particularly from the UAE, Saudi Arabia, but also from the United States and the European Union. And moreover, Sudan is trying to engage with countries that are seeking to develop its foreign policy, a truly national foreign policy. So countries that prioritize Sudan's stability, like have vested interest in that, like China, the European Union, the United States, are important for them. But they're also keeping wary of the countries that are engaged more closely with military factions in the RSF, the Rapid Support Forces, like Israel, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE and Russia. The cleavages between the Sudanese military and the civilian authorities that were exposed during the early months of the transition, particularly during the June 19 Khartoum massacre, are still raw and they're still present. And we've seen that in a variety of manifestations, whether it be Iran and then Hemeti, the engaging with Israel without the consent of the civilian government, Russia's Port Sudan-based construction, really without the consent of the civilian government. And I think that will spill over into the elections, where the military will be backing specific candidates and Abdullah Hamdok will be backing other candidates, and that will cause foreign powers to pick the candidates that will maximize their interests most profoundly. So I think that Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Israel, Russia could engage in support for candidates who are more in the interest of the military. And Russia certainly has a long history of engaging in disinformation campaigns in African elections. Look at Central African Republic, for example, and maybe what they're trying to do in Libya. Yeah, the US, the EU, and China will probably dovetail towards the ones who are backing the civilian authorities. But overall, I think that countries will look at a crowded pool of candidates and place multiple bets because ultimately they want to maintain their influence in Sudan. Leverage is more important than exclusive partnership building for most countries.